Well, everyone's MLS Cup playoff bracket has officially been destroyed. You can take it out by the garbage can. It's over. Everybody's bracket is down the tubes. Inter Miami has lost to Atlanta United in a best of three series. Everyone's MLS Cup favorite has been bounced in the first round. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to MLS Moves. Please make sure you like this video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're getting closer to 5,000 subscribers, and hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. Inter Miami absolutely lay an egg, and there's going to be a lot of soul searching this offseason to see what went wrong. Now, keep in mind, they got eliminated in November. They're not going to play another match until February, so they're going to be off for 3 months. And just an instant reaction, it's a huge disappointment. I mean, you have 3 games to advance to the next round of the playoffs. You're expected to win the MLS Cup, and you lose to a team in Atlanta United who packed it in this summer. They sold their best player in Thiago Almada. They sold their striker in Giorgio Giakoumakis, and they sold their young talent in Caleb Wiley to Chelsea. And they were completely preparing for 2025 and going in that direction and not even thinking about this year. But they snuck into the playoffs, and they won their play-in match against Montreal. And no one gave them a chance to beat Inter Miami, but I did say that they were a scary team because they're playing with house money. They really didn't have anything to lose. Anything else was just icing on the cake. And they beat Miami twice out of 3 times. Absolutely embarrassing by Miami. Now, let's start off with what this could mean for Miami. And also want to give a shout out to Brad Guzan. Brad Guzan played out of his mind this entire series. I believe he should get a call up to the USMNT. I think that he's the best goalkeeper the USMNT have right now. And I'd debate anybody on that. He's playing out of his mind. He's 40 years old, but he's playing better, and goalkeepers can play into their 40s. Let me know in the comment section down below if you think that Brad Guzan should get a call up to the USMNT. Now, Messi, Busquets, Alba, Suarez, Barca boys in Miami. This was supposed to be the MLS Dream Team. This was supposed to be the best team ever assembled. This was supposed to be a team that wins multiple trophies. And they fell flat on their face. Now, let's talk about one of the people I think you could blame. Tata Martino has always came up short when he's with Messi when it comes to winning trophies. He won an MLS Cup with Atlanta United. He won the Supporters' Shield with Inter Miami. He won the Leagues Cup with Miami last year, but he didn't win the ultimate prize, which is MLS Cup. And that's what he's paid to do. He's the highest paid manager in Major League Soccer. And his team lost in the first round, which is inexcusable. If any other team in the world, especially that coaches or Messi, right? They're getting fired. How many coaches did Barcelona have in Messi's tenure after Pep? Several, right? So this is embarrassing on Tata Martino. He has to get the blame for this. And I expect him. I'm not reporting this. This is just my opinion. He will get fired because the ownership will be pissed and feel like he came up short. Now, will they hire Xavi? I don't know. That's who I would hire. It would make so much sense that, we'll have a whole offseason to go into that. But Tata Martino has to be in the chopping block. And I don't want to hear anybody say, but he won the Supporters' Shield. He had the most MLS points. Who cares? They got beaten the first round by a team who is bandaged together, taped up, wasn't trying to win it this year, preparing for 2025. I don't want to hear anything about what he did in the regular season because he failed out he crashed out in the MLS Cup playoffs. So that's irrelevant at this point. That doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't. It doesn't matter anymore. So I think Tata Martino has to get fired. And another player too, Drake Callender. Drake Callender has been a disaster since Leagues Cup. He's a terrible goalkeeper. He's always missing opportunities. He can't play with the ball at his feet. He plays timid. He makes bad decisions. He's bad. They got to move off of Drake Callender. He's terrible. Imagine if they had a goalkeeper like Brad Guzan, how much better they would play. He's been an unmitigated disaster, Drake Callender has. So they have to move off of him. And the craziest part is after Leagues Cup, he played so well They got offered a $5 to $6 million transfer fee for him and turned it down. They wanted to keep him. They thought that maybe his Messi bump hadn't fully reached his potential. He could be sold for more. So that's just bad business by Miami. They should have sold Drake Callender when they had the chance. And I don't expect him to be the starter next year. If he is, it's going to be a disaster. Now, moving on to the next person, Sergio Busquets. Sergio Busquets is making around $10 million a year. Now, the MLS numbers report 5 to 6, but he's making $10 million a year. You can take that to the bank. He's making $10 million a year. You cannot pay a center defensive midfielder $10 million a year in Major League Soccer. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. He is not worth it at this point. This is not the Barca Sergio Busquets that we grew accustomed to seeing. He doesn't make an impact on the game enough to warrant that salary. He's 36 years old. He's got to go. They got to move off of him. If you look at Alba, Suarez, and Sergio Busquets, Alba and Suarez are making $1.5 million. Busquets is making $10 million. He's the worst of the three players. Now, the other two are severely underpaid. I understand that, but he's overpaid. He's not worth $10 million. I expect them to try to move off of Busquets, or they need to, because he's not worth it at this point. Number 3 player that they need to, or third person or player they need to move off of. They need to move off Toto Alvarez. They paid $7.5 million for this young, promising Argentine center back, and he has been a complete disaster since he's been here. He's way too inconsistent, excuse me. He plays way too erratic, and he gets so many yellow cards. And he hasn't taken a step. He has not gotten any better since he came to Miami. He's honestly gotten worse since he's been here at Inter Miami. He's gotten worse. So they'll probably loan him out because nobody's going to buy him. They'll probably loan him out to an Argentine club. Maybe it helps him out. He's only 20 years old, but he's been a complete and utter disaster. So that is just the short list of players they need to move off of. There's other players they need to move off as well. And Messi, right? This season has been a complete disaster for Major League Soccer and Messi. He missed 15 games due to Copa American injury, so he only played 19 games. He gets healthy. He's back for the MLS Cup playoffs with Suarez and all his buddies, and they get bounced in the first round. So this Messi experiment in Major League Soccer is just not panning out the way it should have panned out, because he's not playing enough games. And when he gets eliminated in the playoffs, he's missing the Eastern Conference semifinal, the Eastern Conference final, the possible MLS Cup, 3 big games and ratings boost that this league desperately needs. Now, I'm not going to call the signing a disaster or a failure, because there's still time, but it's not panning out the way it should have panned out. Let me know if I'm wrong. Tell me, do you think the Messi experiment in Miami and MLS and Apple is panning out thus far? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I just don't think it is. And this playoff format is just so wonky. Do you think Major League Soccer wants to have their top 2 teams eliminated in the first round? That's kind of weird. Their top 2 teams in the league, in the Eastern Conference, have been eliminated in the first round. So the Eastern Conference is just a free-for-all right now. I don't know who the hell is going to win the Eastern Conference. Like I said in the beginning of the video, everybody's bracket is officially torched. It's over. Like, it makes no sense at this point. So it's just crazy that that's what happened. I mean, I'll be curious to see who makes it now. I definitely have a favorite who's going to win MLS Cup now, but I mean, they're going to have a slew of offseason moves and changes this coming year, because they're going to go to the Club World Cup in 2025. And I know Jorge Mas does not want to be embarrassed. He wants to show that Miami is a top club in the world. He wants to show that MLS is a top league in the world. And he's a competitive guy. He's going to be pissed off. That's why I don't think Tata Martino survives this. I really don't think he survives this. And I mean, this is just a huge disappointment. I mean, congrats to Atlanta, man. Rob Valentino, hey, congratulations. What a job by Rob Valentino. He deserves that job after winning against Atlanta in a best of 3. He knocked off the best team in the league. Looked like the better team. And it's just Miami fans at Miami expect to win a cup. So if they didn't even win a cup, they were going to be disappointed. They didn't even make it to the second round of the playoffs. And the defense has been so bad this year. Like, Calendar's been bad. Toto Alvarez has been bad. Wingett has been bad. I mean, David Martinez has been okay, but he hasn't been good. Fryer, before he got hurt, was okay, I guess. But their center backs have been bad. Their right back has been bad. Alba's not really a good defender at this point. He's more of a wing back. They have a lot of work to do this offseason. I personally expect Campana to be gone because they'll trade him. I expect Robert Taylor to be gone. I expect Calendar to be gone. Busquets will probably be gone. Wingett won't be bought. David Martinez won't be bought. There's going to be a lot of turnover on this roster. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm curious to see what the ownership says, what Xavi said, or what Tata Martino says, what they maybe Xavi is going to be the next manager of Inter Miami. I would put him as the favorite if they move on. Like I said, I mean, it's going to be an interesting offseason. This has been a disaster for the club. Curious what David Beckham thinks. I mean, they were supposed to go to the MLS Cup final, and to get bounced in the first round is just so embarrassing. It really is. I mean, I want to know what the Inter Miami fans think, like, or how disappointed they are out of a 10. How disappointed are they that their club failed this quickly? And Inter Miami is going to be in the CONCACAF Champions Cup next year. They're going to have to compete in the Champions League too for CONCACAF. We'll see how they do in that, but there are going to have to be some changes, man. There got to be some changes. When Tata Martino came up short against Barca, they fired him or they said he left mutually, but we know he got fired, and then he obviously got let go at Argentina. So we'll see what happens. But man, what a disaster for Inter Miami. Let me know what you guys think down below. We did a very fun watch along. It was an entertaining series, and the playoffs will continue. We'll see what happens. But until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.